All right, if you are a woman that is trying to figure out why am I not losing weight when I eat like a bird and I go to the gym a lot? Well, here's a few things. One, out of your total daily energy expenditure, 70% of your TDEE is in your BMR, which means basically you being alive. This is the energy required for just being alive. And then 15% of that total TDEE is your NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which means fidgeting, dancing in the kitchen, walking around, getting your steps, doing your daily stuff. Then you have a 10% of your TDEE is in your TEF, which is a thermic effect of food. This is basically the energy your body requires to digest the food that you eat. And then check this out. 5% of your total daily expenditure is in your exercise activity thermogenesis, which means this is all the time that you are focused exercising, exercise, training, working out, anything that you're following consistently, your body is using only 5% of your total daily expenditure is being shot out for that. Wow. So how can we manipulate body composition? Like, how do we lose fat? How do we retain or gain muscle knowing this information? So let's check this out. All right. So we're taking this from, we'll say a female is 200 pounds and we have a goal weight of 140 pounds. A lot of times people think, okay, well, you just start here and you take away until you finally end up here. That's not the case though. What we want to look at is, okay, where are we starting at? What is that number? And we'll say with this lady at 200 pounds and her activity level, we're saying this 2,000 calories is what is required to maintain her current body weight. So what happens now? This is the part that math comes in. We'll say we want her in a 30% deficit to start. Why would we want to be in such a high deficit? Well, because she has a lot of fat to lose, and that is the best time to go into an aggressive fat loss phase. So with here, we'll say this is 600 calories less daily. So that puts us at 1,400 calories to start her fat loss phase. Okay. So this is the fat loss phase, the fat loss block. This is where we're decreasing. We start here with a decrease from 2,000 to 1,400. We're going to see a pretty good drop here consistently. And then we may have to drop again a few times here within this fat loss phase. Now, at some point, we're going to say, okay, now it's time to start bringing calories back up, but in a very specific way. So now we're going to go into a recovery phase where we're going to increase calories. And what usually happens, what typically happens, and how we have these built out for our clients is that as you are in a fat loss phase coming into recovery phase, you start eating a little bit more food. Well, what does that do? Well, that spins up the food that you're eating. Okay. You're already following your training consistently, and it also spins up your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. What does this mean? Well, this means that you're actually expending a little bit more energy even than you're eating. So you're seeing the energy, like at the end of the day, calories in versus calories out is going to be the main thing. So we're keeping the main thing here. We're just doing it in a different way, shifting gears. So here, as we are building calories back in, we're seeing that, okay, we're still dropping weight, maybe not as fast as the fat loss phase, but here we're eating more food than the fat loss phase, and we're consistently dropping weight until we start to see this point of, okay, now we're trending up a bit. Now it's time to go into another fat loss phase. Here we're going to a fat loss phase. We're decreasing calories when it is required, only when it is required. And then we get to a certain point. Okay, it's time to go into recovery phase. Now, what is this point? What is this point here? Well, that is when we're measuring things like, okay, how are you feeling? What's your energy? How are you sleeping? There's a lot of biofeedback that we're taking throughout this time to make sure that okay, we were able to execute this, not a problem here. But when we start getting these biofeedback points of, oh, this is a point of interest, that's when we know it's time to shift gears. So here we are increasing calories again, and we're also seeing body weight consistently dropping. Now there's going to be drops and stalls, but even in the increase, we're still increasing calories from here, but we're seeing body weight, body fat percentage dropping consistently as we're increasing calories. So what does this mean with our lady that was 200 pounds and we've taken her to 140 pounds? She's dropped 60 pounds and she's gone from maintaining her 200 pounds at 2,000 calories. Her maintenance calories, her recovery calories should be somewhere around high side around 1,800. 16 to 1,800 is a good estimate for that. But at 140 calories, eating 16 to 1,800 calories to maintain that is pretty awesome. So I hope this helped to give you a little bit of a overview of how we do what we do, why we're doing what we're doing, and not only looking at this week or next week, but actually looking at the big picture overall, the courses of, say, a couple fat loss phases and a couple recovery phases. Oh, I forgot to add, the reason that we are taking calories away at the beginning is because that is the number to maintain current body weight. If you don't want to maintain your current body weight, or you're looking in the mirror and you see a little bit too much fat, then you have to go into a fat loss phase. You can do a recovery. You can do a body recomposition, but it's very, very, very slow. And if you're worried about wasting your muscle as you're trying to lose body fat, you don't have to do that as long as your intensity is correct in the gym, you're going enough, and you're eating enough protein. You're set. 2, your metabolism will downregulate. Like everyone knows your metabolism drops for whatever reason. Most people are like, well, I got old and, my metabolism started falling. Okay. Maybe. Could it be your lifestyle changed? This is a conversation we have one-to-one. But with your metabolism down regulating as it is supposed to naturally by you reducing your energy expenditure and reducing your energy intake, your body is going to naturally pull your energy requirement down. So it's reserving some body fat for energy. So we have to manipulate calories based on that. Like where you started is not where you're going. And once you got to the point where, okay, now I'm just stalled here, it's probably the time to reduce, unless you've been in a calorie restriction for quite a bit of time and it's time to start recovery cycle, right? So the cool part about your metabolism is that, yes, it down regulates, and that sucks. However, it also upregulates. So as you are in a fat loss phase, you go into recovery, you start eating more consistently, your body starts to upregulate. Your metabolism starts to upregulate. And when that happens, that's when you're eating more food and you're consistently seeing drops on the scale from a weekly average to weekly average. That's where the magic really happens and where you get in the best position to go back into the next fat loss phase if required.